is going on, Rebels and Reblettes, and welcome to some new ways Eevee could potentially evolve in the future generations. Ever since the beginning, Eevee has had a new way of evolving. Every time a new form of Eeveelutions have been introduced, there is a new method for evolving them. They evolve with evolution stones, friendship, environmental rocks, or the use of Pokemon and Me. As some of you guys know, I did a top 5 most wanted Eeveelutions video where I discussed some really cool designs and also mentioned a couple of ways these typings could evolve, but I realized that most of them were a little too bland for my taste. So today, I will be discussing some new ways that Eevee could evolve in the future generations with fellow PokeTuber SuperNerdDaniel.
What's up, Pokemon trainers? My name is SuperNerdDaniel, and I've been doing some theories and countdowns of my own over on my YouTube channel. So if you like Mystic Umbreon's videos, hopefully you'll like mine as well. Anyway, I have a bit of a weird love-hate relationship with Eeveelutions. I think Eevee's family is one of the most unique and creative evolutionary chains in the Pokemon world, but at the same time, I once had to dye my hair pink in 2013 because I made a bet once in 2013 about what Sylveon's type was going to be, and I was horribly wrong, so make of that what you will. But anyway, I'm hyped to be here. Hopefully you're hyped for this video. Let's talk Eeveelution evolution. Many areas of the Pokemon world have overworld weather effects, like Mamoswine Road in Kalos with its permanent snow, or Route 119 and part of Route 120 in Hoenn with its constant rainfall. I feel like more could be done with these consistent weather effects than just affecting your wild Pokemon battles. These too could be an Eeveelution method. For a ground-type Eeveelution, simply take your Eevee to the nearest desert, where there's likely to be a raging sandstorm in the overworld, level it up in a battle, and voila! You got yourself a ground-type Eeveelution. It's similar to how Sliggoo can only evolve into Goodra if it's raining in the overworld, once it reaches level 50 of course. A Sandstorm Eeveelution would actually make a lot of sense because the whole idea of Eevee is that it evolves based on some direct influence, and a lot of times that involves adapting to its environment. No cute little normal type is going to survive for too long in the harsh winds and grating sand of the desert, so if Eevee is going to be out here for any extended period of time, it's going to need to grow a thicker skin. Kinda like being on the internet. Anyway, for Eevee to evolve into a bug type, perhaps you could evolve by having your Eevee level up in a forest area while holding the Silver Powder, the hold item from Gen 2 that boosts the power of bug type moves. It's kinda similar to how you have to evolve Sneasel into Weavile by having it hold a Razor Claw and leveling it up at night. Now there might be some potential overlap with the method to get Leafeon since you have to use a Mossy Rock, and oftentimes those are also found in forest areas, so I figure if your Eevee is holding a Silver Powder, that would take precedence over the Mossy Rock, which may be in the same area, but it's not right where your Eevee is, you know what I mean? The Silver Powder is obviously a lot closer to Eevee, being a held item, so that takes priority as the influence on Eevee's DNA that makes it evolve.
The evolution for a Poison-type Eeveelution would be a completely new form of evolution that has never been introduced to the Pokemon games before, the evolution method of status conditions. For the Poison-type Eevee, the status condition would obviously have to be Poison. Eevee would have to be poisoned via battle and level up that way. Having trouble poisoning your Eevee? No problem. Just give Eevee a Toxic Orb and teach it Protect. It's literally that simple. The Dragon-type Eeveelution, a fan favorite for a lot of Pokemon fans. This particular Eeveelution has thought to have been Sylveon's counter-evolution since Sylveon was introduced in early 2013, but unfortunately, it was not. But if this dragon-based Eeveelution were to be introduced, the method for evolution would be similar to the way Sylveon evolves, through Pokemon and Me. The process of getting 2 hearts would be the same, but instead of Eevee knowing a Fairy-type move, it could have a Dragon-type attack. If it had a Dragon-type attack of any sort. An alternative method of evolution, though, could still involve giving 2 hearts in Pokemon and Me, but rather than it having a Dragon attack, it could hold the Dragon's skill while getting Eevee 2 hearts in Pokemon and Me. This idea of a Dragon-type evolution was suggested by JB Dragonlance. This evolution technique still follows Sylveon's evolution formula by evolving it through Pokemon and Me, but it adds that touch of variety by adding an item evolution along with it. So as most of you guys know, I did a top 5 most wanted Eeveelutions a while back, and discussed some ways Eevee could evolve. Most of them were bland. However, There is one method I am bringing back, and that would be how the Ghost-type Eevee evolves while holding the Reaper Cloth. This idea is great and all, but I have a better solution. Eevee levels up while holding the Reaper Cloth, while another Pokemon in the player's party is fainted. As for Nuzlockers, just enable a clause for it. Catch a random Pokemon, make it faint, boom. It's perfect for a Ghost-type Pokemon evolution, because the fainted Pokemon acts like a sacrifice. Well, that pretty much wraps up these ideas of how Eevee could possibly evolve in the future generations. Eevee has very many unique evolution methods, and with new ones being introduced every generation, who knows what kinds of ideas Gamefreak has in store for us. Eevee is one of those Pokemon that has always been filled with surprises. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and share this video with a friend. I also wanted to thank SuperNerdDaniel for joining me in this search for possible ways Eevee could evolve.
Thanks for having me on this video, Mr. Umbreon. I really appreciate it. If you want to see a bit more of me, come over to my channel where Mr. Umbreon helped me tackle my theory about why I believe there will never be a normal type Eeveelution.
But, with all that being said, as always, I've been Mystic Umbreon, and I will see you in the future for more Pokemon content.